Hi, everyone. Keep Cool Eco Sleeve here. We are doing the Keepin' It Cool podcast. We're just keeping it cool.
For those of you who don't know who we are, I'm Megan. This is Kegan. We are your co-founders of said Keep Cool Eco Sleeve.
Yeah. We don't need to get into the details of that.
No.
We can bug you about that later.
Yeah, what we're here to talk about is we recently went to the National Independent Venue Association Conference in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. What an incredible couple of days that was. We rolled in on Saturday, got to enjoy Summerfest. And then the next day we got to get a behind-the-scenes tour of Summerfest. And then for us, 2 whole days. It was actually a 3-day conference, but we wore ourselves out of just learning about, independent venues, all kinds of things, like all the stuff they've been through, the work they have to do, the struggles they have, and just the genuinely awesome people that are there every day working to try to keep live music alive in our country. So we just wanted to really touch base on some of our takeaways from it. It was such a eye-opening, awesome, fun experience. We're already hoping to go back for 2026 in Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yes.
So I want to get into our special thanks first. And I think Megan highlighted the first one. Special thanks to NIVA. NIVA is an awesome, it is the best conference I've ever been to. And I've been to a bunch of conferences, not a ton, but a handful, I should say. Really well done. So knowledgeable. Everybody there was so knowledgeable. So special thanks to NIVA, as Megan alluded to. Stagewater, they are this awesome new company in the canned water space, and what they're looking to do is bring a water can that gives back to the music industry, and that gives back to your local artists and venues. And they were just awesome. They helped us out so much.
Genuinely awesome people. We met them. They were super cool. So ask for Stagewater at your local venue.
Yes. And then last on the list here would be where we're at right now. This is not our fancy podcast booth. This is our local library. Yeah, we're hustling in the local library. We're going to have fun, keeping it cool. And libraries are important.
And nothing's cooler than your local library. So shout out to the Fort Wayne, or the Allen County Public Library, and the studio space.
Yeah.
Maker spaces in your library are also super cool, and there's amazing cool stuff you can do in them. So they have helped us out a bunch as we've gotten started on this entrepreneurial journey. So shout out to them.
Yep. Laser etching, 3D printing. They do all kinds of fun stuff here. So yeah. Let's get into our takeaways from NIVA. We're going to save the best for last, just so you know. The thing that we were just floored by, and I just wanted to tease you on it. We'll probably cut some shorts of it. It's going to be awesome. But also best first, so many awesome people with awesome feedback on our new product. I want to talk about all the people that I peddled these things to. I was hustling, and I was care for a free can cooler to people. And I appreciate their patience with me. I would load them up. I would give them the spiel, the eco-friendly can cooler made out of paper with vibrant graphics, So thank you for your patience with me on that. I just wanted to throw that in there if patrons of NIVA are watching this right now or listening. That industry is such a grind, man. Those people, if Megan wants to get into it, she's probably got some details on it. But I think I remember them saying that 30% were profitable or something that.
Yeah.
And it's these people are struggling, but they're giving everyone such a good product, and gotta show these people love.
So this is a study that had been done previously, but for every $1 someone spends on a ticket, A legit ticket, and we'll get to that later, like we mentioned, $12 is spent on the local economy. So that's somebody going out to dinner, getting some drinks, things like that. So, like, again, your local venues have such a tremendous economic impact on the community. 64% of independent venues were not profitable in 2024. There were 143 nights of programming on average. So your average venue is having something going on almost half the week. 41% have shows 4 nights a week. 9.2% of the total U.S. travel and tourism revenue is from the independent live sector. So people traveling from where they're from to go somewhere else to see a show. And that's something that, Kegan and I have experienced very much. There's so many times that we've traveled to go see a show. It served 184 million fans with 153,000 events. This is all 2024 numbers. It contributes $86.2 billion to the United States GDP. And that is more than the beer, gaming, or airline industries combined. So again, it might seem like, oh, my local theater, but like the powers combined, they are doing so much and are such an important part of the economy here in the United States. And I think that's something that sometimes we forget when we, go to a show or don't go to a show, and it's just, oh, it's just my local theater, but together it makes such a big impact.
Yeah, I think going on to maybe the next thing we want to talk about here, there was so much collaboration. It's in a competitive space, and all these people were showing each other love and care, and they just want this industry to be successful for the artists and for the fans.
Yeah, and not only showing it, to other people at the conference, but there was so many panels talking about how they would, work together with other venues, or, NIVA started as a collaboration when stages went dark in 2020 due to COVID. And they said, how do we work together to show our nation's leaders that this is an important sector, that we need some help, making sure they survive.
Next thing I wanted to talk about is we got to tour the backside of Summerfest.
Behind the scenes of the Summerfest.
Yes, on Sunday. After Summerfest had shut down, where's Summerfest at, man?
So Summerfest, the whole NIVA convention took place in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Summerfest is the largest music festival, as it covers 3 weekends in June. So we went on the first weekend.
Yeah. Big takeaway from Summerfest, fantastic venue. We go to a lot of festivals ourselves, and this is the only festival I've seen where all the structures are structures. They're not temporary. They're all like, we have this thing called Headwaters Park here in Fort Wayne. They're all that good or better. And there's 7 or 8 stages.
Mm-hmm.
All the vendors are in stages, and you're right adjacent to the lake, the river, the lake. I don't know.
It was the river going into the lake, so it was close to both.
Yeah. So that was dope. Like, that was just epic to see that really cool venue. And I would love to go back. Just for the venue itself. They have some of our music, our taste in music. We did go see Jason Mraz and a little bit of James Taylor.
Some Lindsey Sterling.
Lindsey
Sterling,
Sterling, which was Lindsey Sterling was cool. Hadn't seen her yet, I don't think.
Mm-mm. But yeah, it was cool. That festival has been around for over 40 years, and just the commitment to it, the commitment by the city, by the fans. We were talking to somebody who said, oh yeah, I remember, coming here when way back in the day when it wasn't like this, but, because it's continued to be popular, they've given it a designated site. They've really worked with it. The people who worked on that team were fantastic and really cared about the fan experience and the artist experience as well. Like, it was cool how they had, designated hospitality areas and really worked to make the people who had helped make those venues what they were, helped to give them, like a hospitality space. And, increased. One of the things we talked about is they had built, this is a bad place for someone who talks with their hands. They had built some of the venues, and then when they updated them recently, they added additional drink space. They added additional bathrooms. So that people wouldn't be waiting in line forever. And they're like, we don't want people waiting in line. We want people to be enjoying the show. We want them to get their drink or go to the bathroom quickly. We want them to come back. We also don't want them to be in lines where they don't know what they're in line for anymore. They're like, what did you say the term was?
Yeah, so Megan and I went on different paths. She went on the marketing path. I went on the operations path just because I was curious and this stuff's cool. But there was a term that they talked about. Summerfest has a long tenure. They've been around a long time, so they figured out a lot of things. But one of the things that they used to say there was, where are we at? What line are we in? Are we in a beer, a brat, or a bathroom line? Because they would all just converge because there was just so many spaces like that. Something else, and Megan was alluding to earlier, she was talking about a big term in this industry that we learned over the week was point of sale. So they went from having one point of sale to it was like 400 plus people to one point of sale to 100 and some people. I didn't write down the exact amount, but that just shows you like how much technology and how much thought goes into these things, that they're thinking about that deep of level and they're getting to the root of their problems and they're fixing them. Couple other things that were interesting that they talked about in operations was crowd control and safety were big conversations to the venue people. They were asking a lot of questions about, how do you guys manage a crowd? How do you manage safety? How many people do you have to the people in the crowd? So there's a lot of stuff for them to figure out with that. It was just amazing.
And to kind of play off of that, they talked about that on the marketing tour as well. But it was more of a conversation about, again, because mine was more marketing centric. It was about, it used to be, because it was a big area, and they were like, it used to be we would just, the thought process was cram as many people in here as possible, so they're, buying food and getting tickets and stuff. But now the conversation is so much more like, how do you make sure people have a good experience? How are they feeling? Are they too crowded? Are they getting the water they need? All these things to make sure that people are comfortable and they're enjoying their space. And they said that is just huge now. That is something that all venues are really looking at and should be looking at, because it's not just about cramming bodies in there to sell tickets. It's like, what is the experience that people are having? So.
Yeah. Drum roll. This is a problem, right? What we're about to get into, this is a problem in the world. This is something I've been had to, I would assume Megan's been had to. Yeah. A lot of people go through this, and it's the digital scalping world. Just to put it in a small way, they spend over $800 million on marketing to scalp tickets. So, I don't know. Should we say names since we're doing a podcast?
I think we've all seen who some of the.
So I guess, yeah. So we probably shouldn't say names here, but the digital scalping world is a huge, huge problem. And I just want to tell you, if you buy a ticket and it seems too expensive, that's probably because it's been scalped, or it's being scalped. And you might be able to find the right price ticket online if you just look a little harder for the venue's website or the band's website.
Well, I think,
and you want to be careful, because sometimes, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and this is one of the challenges they really talked about, was that, these websites are setting themselves up to look like a venue. Mm-hmm. So you think that you're buying a ticket from, the 930 Club was one of the ones that was mentioned, but it's actually a lookalike site that then is charging you $500 or, $250 for a $50 ticket, that if you actually went to the 930 Club's website. And one of the tricky things is that it seems that some of these sites might be using Google AdWords to boost themselves up higher on the list. So you go to the first one and say, oh, this is tickets to the 930 Club. I'm going to get it from here. And they're actually a site that's, potentially charging you significantly more than the actual venue or the actual artist would be. I think the tricky part is that money does not go back to the venue. That money does not go back to the artist. That money is going to the scalpers. They're taking the tickets, buying them from the venue, and then selling them to you for exorbitant prices and just pocketing that money. And then using that money probably to advertise to other people so that they can take their money too.
Yes. And you know how I looked up the Clyde and I thought they had an official website and they were promoting their own website? Well, I ended up clicking on that sponsored link, and it was not to the Clyde. It was to a ticketing agency for, selling tickets. So, yeah, I would say on Google or any of those, don't click the sponsored ad. Yeah. That's just the wrong path, and you're going to do yourself a lot of services by just scrolling down a little bit, finding the venue or the artist, and using that.
Yeah, well, and it's not the right one, because these actual venues, they don't necessarily have the money to promote themselves on Google AdWords. I know not everyone knows how Google AdWords works, but the sponsored ones, they pay per click. They get keywords, they pay per clicks. Sometimes if those clicks are really high, you're going to pay, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month for those. Like your local venue, especially when 64% of them aren't profitable, they don't have the money for that. So, but these big conglomerates who are charging you 10 times as much as they should be on tickets, they do have the money. So definitely look into make sure it's going to your local venue, or go through your artist directly to make sure that you're not getting scalped. And one of the things they brought up, I think we all understand how annoying it is for us to get, fake tickets are awful because you can't even go to your show. And paying, way more than you should for a ticket sucks too, because you're out that money. But this is an issue that members of NIVA are fighting. Why? One, because they care about the fan experience. But two, as they point out, for every, let's say you're supposed to get a ticket for $50 and you pay $250. That's 5 more times you can't go see a show. That's 5 times more money you're not spending, buying a beer or getting, a dinner out or buying a hotel room. That's money that's not going into the local economy that is so important to these venues, that's just going to some scalper based in who knows where, And it's not helping the artist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and shout out to NIVA for fighting this fight. They just had a really good legislation passed in a state that
in Washington, D.C. Yeah.
It was in D.C.
Or they're working on it. I don't think they got it passed, but they were instrumental in the Bots Act, and this is a big campaign thing for them that they've been working on to try to get these ticketing practices stopped, because it hurts everybody except the scalpers, and who cares about them? So.
Right. They are literally just taking money and putting it into marketing. And the other thing they're doing, you ever look out in a stadium and go, man, there are so many empty seats? Do you know why that is? My take from this conversation we're having, a lot of those are probably bought tickets by scalpers that they're just sitting on because they weren't able to sell them for exorbitant fees. So, what they'll do, and this is, how they explained it, is they'll buy, say, 5 tickets at $50, and then they will sell them for $200 to $300. Well, if they sell 2 or 3 of those, they made all the money they needed. Those other 2 or 3 tickets, they can just sit empty. The scalpers don't care.
Yeah.
So not only are they ruining the experience, you're paying more, so you're not spending more at the venue on drinks or having fun. They're making it so that less people can go at reasonable prices that the artists are trying to dictate. The artists want to dictate a reasonable price. The venues want to dictate a reasonable price, but these scalpers are making it impossible. So help NIVA, get involved. Buy your tickets from authentic sources. Hunt for it. Do it the right way, because we can either battle this in legislation or we can battle this as consumers and just not let it happen.
Well, and really both, honestly. Like, I think we should find, I'm sure NIVA's got some information. They had a big Fix the Ticks campaign that they were doing. We'll put some of that information up here. So you can go and see, you know, a more official source of this, get some more information and figure out what you can do to help. Because it's important. And, you know, we all want to go to shows. We all want to go to shows at a fair price. The venue, the artists, the fans, everybody wants that. They want you to go. They want you to have a good time. You know, yeah, they want to make their money, but, you know, at the end of the day, they want to make their money for them and their economy, not for some scalper that has nothing to do with the process except to try to ruin it. So.
Yeah. Well, that's what we wanted to do here. We wanted to explain to you this corruption going on, this problem in the world. There's a lot worse problems, but this is the one we found, and we felt beholden to get this out there. We're out here on a Saturday at the library trying to jam this content so that you can know about it and so that people learn about our sweet product, you know, and
well, maybe this would be a good opportunity to talk about what we're hoping to do with this podcast, and maybe people can give us some ideas, draw it. So what we would like to do with this, you know, we're calling it Keeping It Cool for the Keep Cool Eco Sleeve, but we really just want to like promote things that are cool. So, you know, like the NIVA convention we think was super cool. Like our behind the scenes tour of Summerfest was super cool. Learning about scalping and how bad it is for everybody was super cool.
Yeah.
We talked about maybe having some guests on here who would talk to us more about, you know, a look at how, you know, ticketing pricing. What kind of things would you guys like to see? We're new. We're not, you know, professional podcasters, but we just would like to promote things that we think are cool. We'd love to eventually go out, see some other cool behind the scenes things that, you know, maybe talk to some of our customers, maybe you'll just see some shots of us having fun at Louder Than Life, you know, or Summerfest next year, or, you know,
or
Shiprock. So, but like, let us know what kind of things you think are cool, because, you know, what we think are cool, maybe you found some other cool stuff too. So, so let us know, you know, in the comments below.
Okay.
Do we need to have a cool sign off?
Maybe we can like brainstorm a sign off.